Hello and welcome to this Dark Energy support video. In this video, we will be discussing how to assemble the Countertop point of purchase display. After opening the box, you should be left with 4 pieces. The first piece is the main frame of the display. The next piece is the backer card for the display. And then there should be 2 remaining pieces. These 2 pieces are the product organizers, which will aid you in setting up product in this particular display. One quick tip for an easier assembly is noting that there are 2 sides to each piece. Depending on how you open the box, the first side that you will probably see is a brown side. This is the side that we'll probably use the most when assembling the display. And then you will see that there is the other side, and this is the side that the customer will see the most, is the branded side. This will have like a stainless steel look as well as all the Dark Energy logos and other printed materials. As mentioned before, we're going to want to use the brown side of each piece. And this is because it is easier to see the critical areas that need to be folded or punched out for assembly. So assembling this particular display can be broken down into 2 easy steps. The first step is assembling the main frame of this display, and then the last piece is assembling the product organizer that will be an insert into the main frame and aid you in setting up product in this particular display. Okay, let's jump into it. So for step 1, we're going to be assembling the main frame of the display, and this will require 2 pieces. So it'll require the main large piece as well as the long slender piece. Let's go ahead and prep the long slender piece first because it is an insert into the main frame piece, so we're going to want it ready to go before we assemble the main frame piece. Once again, as mentioned before, on the brown side, it is easier to see the creases and areas that need to be folded. So for this piece, there will be 2 little tongues on each end. You will need to fold those down. And then, once those are folded down, you're going to fold in the center in on itself, as shown here. Awesome, the long piece is all assembled and ready to go. Let's go ahead and move on to the main frame of the display and assembling it. So when you unbox this particular piece, it'll look something like this. What we need to do right now is reorient this particular piece so that all of the brown sides is facing up, as shown here. The next step is to ensure that all of the areas or creases are folded just to allow for easier assembly. Okay, next we're going to want to be sure that the main frame piece is oriented so that it looks like this on the table. Next, be sure that you have that long center piece handy and available because it needs to be inserted into this main frame piece. Okay, next we're going to want to take this back piece here and fold it up as shown here. Keep that long piece relatively center because it needs to be inserted in these square sections shown here. One quick tip for a possible easier assembly is having 2 people on both sides. Due to the fact that the steps to assemble both sides of this display are the exact same, if you have somebody on the other side of you mimicking each of your steps, you will have the POP assembled in no time. Next, after you have folded up the back piece and have that long piece relatively center, you're going to want to fold up one of the sides up and over the back piece, as shown here. As you're folding over the side pieces, be sure that those side pieces fit over the centerpiece like this. Be sure that the long tongue of the side piece is folded in as shown here, and then you can fold up the front piece up over the side tongue as shown. Once again, having two people on either side would probably be the easiest, but it can be done with one person. You just follow the same steps that you did for this side on the other side. Once again, ensuring that that long piece is center and fits in between each of the side and back pieces. Excellent. The main frame piece is now assembled. It should look like this once it is finished. With the hardest step now finished, let's move on to the easy ones. To finish out the main frame piece, take the backer card, which looks like this, and slide it into the back grooves of the main frame piece. Okay, we are now ready for the final step, which is to assemble the product organizer insert. Now for this particular piece, once again, it's going to be the easiest if you use the brown side of this particular piece. Once again, there's the printed side, but it's difficult to see all of the creases and areas that you need to punch out. So on the brown side of this particular piece, you're going to see that there are these little ellipses. There are quite a few of them, and each one of these need to be punched out, as shown here. Once you've finished punching out all of the little ellipses, the next thing is we need to fold on all of the creased areas. Please note that some of these creased areas might be a tad subtle, especially on the 6 little tongues that stick out, as shown here. The last step for assembling this particular piece is to fold it in on itself, as shown. Each one of those 6 little tongues that you folded will fit into grooves on the other side, like this. Once you're all finished, you should have a perfectly looking rectangular cube like this. Excellent work. You're all finished. All of the crucial pieces needed to assemble this particular display are now finished. That last little product organizer insert, you can just put into the main display really wherever you want in that main front section of the point of purchase display, as shown here. So before we conclude this video, we'd like to show you a possible way that you can organize dark energy product in this particular display. So that last piece that you just inserted into the main frame of the display is there to help organize the accessories that dark energy provides. Again, there are various accessories that we provide. We provide a 20-watt wall adapter that can be inserted as such. You can insert our durable cables like this, and then we also have the plasma lighter that can be inserted. There are various other accessories that we have that can be inserted into these little slots as shown here. Once again, these are just some examples of dark energy accessories that can be inserted into this product organizer insert piece. Again, depending on which products you order, you can organize this however you would like. As for the front left section of this particular display, that is reserved for our batteries. This is reserved for the Poseidon Pro or the Poseidon Nano, or for both, depending on what you order. Finally, for the entire back section of this display, that is reserved for our Spectre solar panels. Whether you order the 18-watt or the 8-watt or both, you have 2 rows in the back reserved for displaying this particular product. However you decide to organize dark energy product in this particular display, it is a great way to advertise and sell the product. If you have any questions or concerns or are having difficulties assembling this particular display, please feel free to reach out to our support team at support@darkenergy.com, and we'd be happy to answer any questions or concerns or issues you may be having with this particular countertop display. Thanks.